All right, we're going. I'm Rusty.
I am Scott, the Grand Master of Underlings.
And this episode's brought to you by DeSantis for President 2024. Yeah. So Scott and I have very different senses of humor. Like very, very different senses of humor. It's funny because Amy was telling me tonight, so she started listening to the podcast.
What do you mean started?
She hasn't really been able to listen. She doesn't have time. When she's driving, it's hard for her to focus on the road and like listen the way she wants to. But lately she's been trying. So she's been like listening in the car. So we were having a conversation about it today. That's neither here nor there. So I was explaining to her my humor, it's dark and it could be taken out of context. Like you could take any clip from a show and like, there's some shit that I say that's fucked up if it's taken out of context.
Which is what I plan on doing when I get the highlights.
I have no doubt about that. But my humor is dark because, to me, the world is fucking absurd.
Word.
Existence is absurd. Reality is absurd. And not to point out the absurdity of it, you know?
A lot of absurdity
and
going
so I could either do it in a darkly humorous way or I could do it in a fucking just a much darker way than like humor. Like murdering people and storing them like under my baseboards. And so that's my humor. My humor is dark and pokes fun at like the absurdity of reality. Scott's humor is very, very different. Go ahead, Scott. Tell the story about like, so I'm not saying it wasn't funny. I'm just saying Scott found something from our old episodes that was really funny.
It wasn't really that funny. It was like a week ago.
What
I went
episode?
through the episode. It's the number 63.
All right, episode 63. What's the timestamp on it?
I don't know. 1 hour, 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
All right, so episode 63, 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 15 seconds. Right. So everybody can go and check that out.
You just made one of your funny voices.
Okay.
And I just found it pretty humorous today when I was,
right,
listening to it while I was at work.
All right. Why are you so defensive in explaining this? That's the question. Why are you getting so defensive?
Because I got to tell you this. When I was listening to
I'm not measuring.
No. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not because you don't do things like that. I'm just saying, when I was at work today, I found it humorous enough where I rewound it 2 or 3 times. And then when I said, I had something really funny that I'd say, and when I played it back for you just now, while I laughed, I don't find it as funny as I remember it being just 6 hours ago.
Well, I mean, because you heard it already 6 hours ago, you found it funny then. So it was like me being God annoyed at like the Israelites, and Scott liked, the voice that I made. Where it was like a very basic voice, but it's just funny. It goes to show like,
I'm a basic bitch, man.
Well, that's why that's why the show works, because in between my dark jokes, you're making your little, like basic, like, like humor,
I don't know.
So it attracts all different kinds of audience to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we have a very diverse type of audience.
Yeah, we have the audience, who's like the more intellectual types. And then we have the audience who's more like a why I wanna types.
That's the voice you made. That's hysterical. You're just mad that I am average. We got ourselves a sponsor here.
I know, Ron DeSantis. Can you believe it?
No, I'm talking about this Tommy Hilfiger shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, I thought the Ron DeSantis sponsorship was way more important than the Hilfiger shirt.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, his campaign manager has been really trying to like get on our show, and we've been a little resistant because we're not into DeSantis politics.
No, dude, it's not even that, man. It's just I'm not too keen on selling out too quickly, man.
Is that what it is? For me, it's more the politics. But honestly, the amount of money that they're paying us, we got,
I gotta tell you,
we have to advertise.
I gotta tell you, do you think like Joe Rogan has politics? Do you think Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson has
it's
politics?
All about the money.
It's all about the fucking money. They don't believe half the shit they say.
And
what?
And if our audience was supporting us even a little bit, maybe we wouldn't be taking money from the Ron DeSantis campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
But as it is, our audience doesn't really support us.
There's going to get the point, though, when we take enough money from Ron DeSantis, we can't keep reading the Bible because I believe the Bible is technically banned in schools in Florida.
Because of the pornography?
No, because every book is now banned.
Oh.
No,
You can't read in Florida.
You basically can't read in Florida. But what they did was they basically took all the maybe controversial books off the shelves so they can go through a review process.
Right.
So they're not technically banned yet, but they can't be on the shelves now because someone complained.
Right. So someone complained about the Bibles.
Right.
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 Good.
So
Good
it's
for
gotta
them.
Come off. Yeah.
Good for them. I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to take that Ron DeSantis money that he's paying us, Ron DeSantis 2024.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep taking that Ron DeSantis money. And then when I have enough Ron DeSantis money, I'm going to hire a private investigator and find out who our audience is, who's not supporting us. And I'm going to go pay each one of them a visit. Yeah. So my recommendation to everyone in our audience is visit patreon.com/libelthebible. We have a very nice subscription model there. We do very interesting episodes where we do. It's funny because we did talk about Ron DeSantis and what a fucking idiot he is, and he still chose to advertise on our show, especially when his base is so religious. You would think like he would try and stay away from Libel the Bible, but no, he said my campaign for president is more important than any one ideological position.
I don't think that's what he did, man.
You don't think so?
I think he's playing it safe. He knows none of his core base listens to this, so he's already reaching his core base. He wants to reach our members now.
You think
he wants to reach people that are
both
on the fence.
sides of the aisle.
Yeah, he definitely wants to draw some of our people over to him.
You don't think he's afraid that
this is smart advertising. This is smart on his part.
You don't think he's afraid that his base will find out that he's advertising on like an atheist podcast making fun of the Bible?
Well, what he will do is he will look right in the camera and basically tell them what I did, but he'll add some hand motions that are very distracting to dumb people. Like just a lot of hand motions. The hands out, in, back, forth, up, down, all that kind of shit.
Right.
And once you do that, he'll tell you, listen, I'm trying to sway those people that are against us over to our side. And then everybody like, wow, he's smart. He's smarter than other people.
It sounds like the Moses model.
How so?
Like a lot of hand waving, a lot of tricks like, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this water. Oh, now it's red. Oh, look at the stick. Oh, it's a snake. It would be more impressive if he turned like a square box into a snake. Turning a stick into a snake, that's not that far of a stretch.
Don't they have like kids like magic wands? Like when they use a magic
snappy
wand
things.
Yeah, but when they hand it to somebody, it goes limp.
They have that,
right?
Or it turns into flowers.
I mean, wouldn't a stick that went limp look like it turned into a snake?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on. This is a fucking pharmacy $1.99 card, magic shop stuff that he had.
Well, it doesn't matter. We thank Ron DeSantis and his campaign because the amount of money that they are dumping into this show is tremendous. It's more money than anybody's ever gotten from a campaign. Ask anybody.
I've asked people, man. It totally jives with what you're saying.
So it's indisputable. It's fact. Ron DeSantis is paying us to talk about the Ron DeSantis for President 2024 campaign. He's paying us more than any other show or newspaper or television station.
He's paying us more than he's paying any of those?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's paying us a higher rate,
right.
Yes.
All right. Because I was going to say, just for clarity's sake, he's not paying us any less or more than any other presidential candidates pay us. Yeah. All right.
So, again, we would like to ask our audience, if you don't want us to continue taking Ron DeSantis' money, please visit patreon.com/libelthebible. $5 a month. You have tons of back discussions that we've already recorded and posted.
Oh, it's a big library there,
including future discussions that we will hold.
What do you call that? The collection of someone's works. What would you call
catalog.
That? All right, a catalog. Yeah. Okay.
A canon.
A canon.
Not a cannon that you shoot like
one end.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah.
There's two ends. There's not three ends. That's a lot of ends for one.
Call it a library of files.
Yeah, all right.
So you can call it a lot of things.
Yes. We call them other
But
things.
it's nothing until you go there and you sign up for patreon.com/libelthebible. Go check it out. Also, visit us on Twitter. Visit us on Instagram.
We're on all these things?
I mean, say something. Say something. Say something. Anything. Say something. Anything. If you're listening to this, go and say something. Anything.
Please do, because Rusty's starting to get a little scary.
So, yeah. That's
good.
about it.
Thank you, Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis, yeah.
2024.
Ron DeSantis, thank you very much for your sponsorship, and we'll see you next week. Shit, no, we haven't even done the show yet. Fuck.
Oh.
You know what? These motherfuckers that are listening right now, this is all they really fucking deserve to hear, by the way. They just deserve to hear a goddamn fucking 10-minute Ron DeSantis commercial every fucking week until, I don't know, 2 of them sign up for fucking Patreon?
Yeah, we could do that.
The fuck?
We could do that.
Go to our Patreon, assholes.
All right, so maybe we shrink this down to be like a Patreon commercial in all of our episodes.
Maybe we move the whole goddamn show to Patreon.
Oh. That'd be a bold move, man.
I know. How's your week?
My week has not been bad. It's only Tuesday.
Well, actually, we haven't recorded a show in a while.
It seems like it's been a while.
It has been a while.
Oh, how long has it been?
I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Really?
I don't know. You want me to take out my calendar?
No,
You
not
want
really.
to pause the recording?
No, not at all. Not at all, man. Not at all, man. My week's been good. I would like to just talk briefly, ever so briefly, about there are certain groups of people, certain demographics, certain people that have certain labels that aren't fully represented in like some of the most important American things.
Asians.
I was gonna talk about the trans.
Asians.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, how come there's not an Asian on the Supreme Court? We're worried about like putting like all of these demographics on the Supreme Court. Asians make up a very large percentage of minorities in this country. There's no Asians.
The only Asian guy I remember being like a judge was like wasn't the OJ judge an Asian guy?
You think that was it? Once they saw the job that he did, they were like, no more Asians.
No, I wasn't thinking that at all. The
Judge
Ito.
Judge Ito.
And I only think I remember because of the dancing Itos. Did he dance a lot, or there was a spoof about him dancing?
I remember he had a bunch of timepieces on his bench. Remember, like first it was like a clock. Then he expanded it to like a couple of clocks. Then it was like these like sand clocks, and it became like super intricate. You don't remember this?
I don't remember that, man.
Yeah, as fame got to his head,
that was before the internet, right?
He became more and more eccentric. Everything in your life was before the internet, Scott.
So anyway, no, I wasn't talking about anything as insignificant as the Supreme Court. I'm talking about mass shootings, man. Yeah. We haven't had a good transgender shooter ever, right?
You know what the worst part of that was? First of all, I don't even know. I was asking Amy today, is this a trans man or a trans woman? Because I can't get a straight fucking answer. But when I first saw the headline, I texted Amy straight away because the headline was...
What do you mean straight away?
Right away.
Okay.
You couldn't understand in the context what straight away
meant?
We're
talking about transgender and fluid this and fluid that. Straight might have something to do with your sexuality.
No. So I texted her straight away a screenshot of the headline from the New York Times, woman, mass shooter. Right. And I said, score one for fucking equal rights. You know what I mean?
See, some of our humor is the same.
It's like, all the time, like women are complaining, and rightly so, that there's not opportunities for them. Well, finally women are taking advantage of these opportunities. Yeah. There's a whole scandal at Harvard University where the women's hockey program at Harvard is being investigated. There's going to be suspensions for hazing, sexual assaults. And it's like, finally women are they're attaining equality even in sports.
Yeah.
So, yes. So
let's get back to that point. Then I find out she's a trans woman.
Okay.
So
it's a trans woman.
So wait. You said now I need clarification because I'm an old guy. Trans woman. That means she currently identifies as a woman and she transed into a woman.
Correct.
I'm never ever clear on that. When I hear trans man or trans woman, I'm like, oh, what are they now? So if you say someone's a trans man, they're a man now.
Get rid of the word
trans.
trans.
Okay. All right. Thank you. See, just got to ask the questions.
Trans
man.
just lets you know that they transitioned to.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't like to watch the news very often, but I don't really hit the social media much. But the first thing I got fed for some reason on my social media was Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, "Well, all the trans drugs that were like pumped into this person explains the shooting. Let's not be blaming the guns." And that's a total paraphrase. That's not her exact thing. So I was like, "Wow, we're already shifting blame." So it's my long way of saying.
That wasn't a long way. That was a very short.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, not excited about it, but I'm just excitable today.
You want to talk about it?
No, I don't want to talk about it, man. But for
you don't want to talk about it.
Our listeners outside of America, I don't know if you know this, we have a gun problem in this country. It's not we have a gun problem. We have a shooting people problem.
Well, we have a gun problem.
Which tends to happen with guns.
Right.
So, yeah, we had another school shooting, something like the 139th mass shooting in America.
I don't even know
it's
what the
March,
number is.
man. It's March.
The number doesn't matter.
It's fucking March.
So 3 kids, 3 adults were killed. All the kids were age 9, from my understanding.
Yeah.
I will never understand someone who can walk into a school building and shoot up kids. I mean, I can totally understand people like shooting up adults, like, you know what I'm saying?
Or maybe shooting their own kid.
Like,
right?
I'm not saying I would do it, but I can understand like doing it, you know? Like children, that's fucked up, man. Yeah. Nothing gets done in this country, and honestly, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about it.
That's what they want.
Well, they're gonna get that from me because it's useless. What is the point of talking about it?
I just want to acknowledge it happened, man. There's nothing to talk about. There's absolutely nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say about it.
So we acknowledge those unfortunate families who have to whose lives are fucking shattered forever.
You know what? Dude, no, this is bullshit. This is why we don't have any listeners. This is why we don't have any sponsors other than Ron DeSantis 2024. Because we say shit like this. I'm gonna say this: the school shooting didn't happen. They were all crisis actors. It's all bullshit.
Right.
It's all the libtards trying to frame the gun manufacturers for the reason that their kids are trans curious.
They're trying to deflect from the fact that down the street there's a pizzeria that hosts drag queen fucking pizza tossings, and in the basement they're indoctrinating children with fucking critical race theory and pumping out fucking transsexuals.
Yeah. So take your bullshit school shootings and send them over there.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. You know what? And if Alex Jones is listening, we'll take his sponsorship too if he wants to.
Hell yeah, man.
So we'll let the audience know next week whether or not Alex Jones is fucking being sponsored here.
That's all I have to say about current events, man.
That's it. That's your current event thing.
I'm just fucking. I'm not happy, man.
You're not
happy.
happy.
No, I'm back to
you said you had a good week.
I did, but now they brought me down, so I don't want to talk about that anymore.
It is a tough subject to talk about. Listen, Second Amendment people are always going to point to the Second Amendment.
All right, you know what? I got some more to say about this. So now, if this was a trans woman, people on the I don't want to say the far right or conservatives.
It was a trans woman.
Okay, it was a trans woman. But like I said, I've only been watching like blurbs, headlines. I'm not actually digging into it. So it's a trans woman. The people that are gun nuts, I believe, and I could be wrong. Check me if I'm wrong. Call me. Smash your keyboard. The people that are gun nuts also believe that if you are looking to be trans, like, you're crazy, basically. You have mental illness, you're crazy. Let's say you're right. You want assault weapons in crazy people's hands? That's all I'm saying. Can we start there? Could we have a red flag law, something that says crazy people can't get guns? How about that?
I mean, you're making an argument that's been made, right? Like many times in the past.
Yeah, but now
you know what's going to happen.
But you couldn't claim anybody was crazy. But by the things that I hear coming out of that side's mouth, someone who is trans is crazy.
So that's the law that will be passed. You won't be able to buy a gun if you're trans.
Oh, that's not how we wanted this to go down. That wasn't the point.
So that's what's going to happen.
All right, but they won't even do that.
No, they won't.
They love guns more than they hate trans people.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now I'm done.
That is interesting. I wonder, like, if we forced them to create a hierarchy of hate, like where they would place like certain things. Like, I know Jews would be at the top. Like, Jews would definitely be like at the top of what they hate. But then, like, underneath that, like, what would be like what? Like, do they hate gay people more than black people?
Do they hate black people more than George Santos? Right?
No, they love George Santos.
Yeah, crazy. He checks a lot.
I got to tell you, I like George Santos.
Oh, he's hysterical.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. He's this obviously gay conservative, right? Who just lies about everything.
Did he really rob an old man? His wife was taking care of an old lady, and he like robbed the old man's wallet.
That I don't know.
And like wrote checks with it.
I don't
like
know.
that's how he bounced checks off some old man's account.
That would not surprise me. I know that he was collecting money for like a dog or something. It's like a whole bunch of crazy shit. He claimed he survived 9/11 or his mom survived 9/11. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. Wow. I'm going to reach out to his campaign people, see if they want to throw some sponsorship money that way.
I will take anyone's money because the audience isn't giving us any money. So I will take anyone's money. So if the audience doesn't care about hearing fucking ad campaigns from Ron DeSantis, or as Trump calls him, Rob DeSantis.
Rob DeSantis.
Fucking Trump is the best, man. He does not give a fuck.
He doesn't know anything. I don't
If the audience doesn't fucking subscribe to our Patreon, I will do Trump commercials for free. Trump won't even have to advertise. I will just become MAGA.
Dude, rein it in, man.
No, that's too far.
Because they would probably want you to do that because it'd be funny.
Shit. Right.
Everybody thinks Trump is funny.
All right.
So before we go on, I did a little fact checking on some stuff. Torquemada, the Grand Inquisitor from the Spanish Inquisition. Mm-hmm. You were correct. He was the first Spanish Grand Wizard. Grand Inquisitor. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it was KKK I was thinking of.
I don't remember that I said he was the first.
No, you said he was the Grand Inquisitor.
Grand Inquisitor.
But he was the first Grand. There was 3 Grand Inquisitors. Okay. So he was the first. But looking into it, and this is only off of Wikipedia, apparently before he even took office, if that's an office, there was the Spanish Inquisition did have rules for torture, but they said there was no torture listed in any of the case files or any of the court proceedings. So they feel while torture was allowed, they don't think it was generally used.
Generally.
Yeah.
Right, generally.
But the argument was...
How many people were inquisized?
I don't know. And, of course, you leave that out of the court here documents, so I can't really trust that either.
So the reason that torture was rarely used was because they forced you to convert, and they tortured anyone who wouldn't convert. So if they found you and you were a Jew, they would be like, confess.
Gotcha.
And then you had to confess, and then you had to convert to Catholicism.
Oh, okay. That beats getting, like, shims under your fingernails.
Sure, but yeah. So if you had no morals or fucking ethics, yes, you were free from torture.
Nah, dude, man, I don't think that's fair, man.
You don't think so?
You get put in an Iron Maiden or something, man.
No, I hear you.
Fuck
or
that.
you know about the bull, the hot bull one, where they put you into like a cast iron like bull. It's like a hollowed out cast iron bull, and then they put that shit over like fire.
That's fun.
And that's how you die, like fucking roasting, like.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. People are inventive, man. People find fucking crazy ways of fucking killing other people.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got on that subject.
The rack.
Oh, I did research. Remember we were talking about being smited? Yes. And we weren't sure if it meant only God smites people. But no, that's not the definition. It's to strike or to hit hard with it, as with a hand, a stick, or other weapon. Lots of definitions. I checked a bunch of sites, and none of them specifically said God is a smiter. Anybody could smite somebody.
Okay. But when God smites you, no one smites you like God smites you.
No, it's like, I guess, like, if you say smite, you better have God in mind. I think we've got to that point in our society,
I think
right?
so.
It's like when you say bozo, it better not be the financier.
I think if you're using smite to describe someone hitting you or something, striking you, that's colloquial.
Yeah. Again, bozo the financier is not a thing. Bozo is the clown at this point. Like, there's nobody else named bozo but the clown. So.
Right. Like, no one's named Adolf anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, that name is gone forever.
Yeah. Adolf the Saint? That wouldn't sound right?
Or just Adolf anybody wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Adolf Smith, Adolf Williams.
Do you think a lot of people, like, I wonder how popular that name really is. We'll have to check that one.
Adolf?
Adolf.
I just said no one's naming anyone Adolf.
I mean, to say no one, there's 8 billion people on the planet. I mean, it's a broad statement. Like, it's a bold statement.
Right. So anyone would understand that it's not an absolute statement. Right. It's a generalization that no one. Obviously, yes, there are probably people on the fringes who name their child Adolf, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should have been more expressly clear on that.
Do you think those people that name their child Adolf are fans of Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
Okay. That's...
I do.
See, that, I believe, is an absolutely binding, blanketing statement.
Would you name your child Adolf?
I would not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Would you name him Goering?
Goering?
Yeah.
I know that name.
Yes. He
Well, I
was
don't know that
Hitler's, like,
He wasn't the SS guy.
minister
was he? No, that
of
was Himmler.
propaganda.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no, that was Goebbels.
Oh, right. And you know what? It's maybe who I was thinking when you said Goering, though.
Goebbels. It's Goebbels, even though it's G-O-E, like B-E-L-L-S. There's no, like, R, but you say Goebbels.
I don't know how to pronounce other languages. I can barely speak English.
We knew a guy named Gerber because he looked like the Gerber baby bottle kid.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Gerber.
Yeah. If you told me his real name, I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know it either. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So we're doing Judges, huh?
We are doing Judges.
Judges, last time we did Judges 6 and 7, since we're not doing a previously on as punishment to the audience. You know, they're going to be lost. They don't know what happened last episode. And I refuse to write scripts for the audience.
That's fine.
I refuse.
Should we mention that we're doing this freestyle again tonight?
No, the audience doesn't deserve to know anything. They are lucky that we are talking right now and recording, and we'll be putting this up, and that's all they get from us.
That's fair enough, man. It is what it is, man.
Let's get to Judges 8. Let's not even
I gotta
recap.
tell you, wait, hold on. I gotta tell you, it's not even about the money at this point. It's about any feedback, anything to keep us going. We ask for very little.
I believe this is we're recording our 66th episode right now.
Oh.
If you go through all of the episodes, right, I want you to create a T-chart. A T-chart is like a cross, a two-sided list, like a do and don't list, a pro and con list,
Okay,
all right?
okay,
A
yeah.
T-chart.
My therapist had
Create
to
a
do plenty of
T-chart.
those. Never called it a T-chart.
On one side, write all the times that I've asked people to engage with us on social media, leaving feedback. And then on the other side, write all the times I've asked for money. I can guarantee you the side where I'm asking people to engage with us on social media and leave feedback far exceeds anything they'll find about, you know, any other promotion. I don't give a fuck about Patreon, but I've asked numerous times for feedback. And honestly, I don't understand why, if people who listen to the show week after week after week, there are people who listen to the show week after week, I don't understand why it's difficult for them to leave feedback. I don't understand it. So this is what they'll get from me. They'll get nothing.
And they'll like it. That's the problem. They like it.
Mr. Blukowski, 0.0.
I don't know that.
It's Animal House. They get called into like Dean Wormer's office, and he's like disgusted with the fraternity, and he's like reading off their like GPA, and he's like 1.5, you know, 1 point, and then he's like turns to John Belushi's character. He's like Mr. Blukowski.
Gotcha. I'm fidgety right now because I just wore these.
0.0.
I'm wearing these glasses for the first time, and I just turned my head and hit this. I'm like, did I just scratch my brand new glasses like the first fucking time?
Oh, so now you're worried about that.
I'm not worried. It's done now, but I don't. Whatever, man.
Didn't you pay like $500 extra for the scratch-proof like coating that doesn't do shit?
Of course I did.
It's glare-free. Yeah. They've invented glass that's glare-free, and you're wearing it on your face. Fuck out of here. Fucking lying pieces of shit.
They will sell anything.
Yeah, it's awful. Fuck them. I got to tell you, the problem is this, because you're going to an optometrist. Mm-hmm. What you should do is go to an ophthalmologist. But insurance doesn't want to pay for ophthalmologists.
I did have to go to an ophthalmologist this time.
So optometrists are like car salesmen. They will fucking sell you anything because they're not really doctors. They just open up like whatever, a Pearl. Does Pearl still exist?
I
haven't seen Pearl.
I got to tell you, you know where I get my eyes done now?
Vision Works.
Costco, buddy.
Costco's good.
Yeah, that's where I go, man.
All right. Yeah. Gideon's Triumph and Vengeance, Judges 8. You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into this.
Let's get into this. So Gideon we're not going to tell the audience what his involvement was already.
I feel like I have to.
Really?
I had a look because I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Because I don't remember. This is a week and a half ago.
All right, you know what? I'm going to step out while you tell the audience. Go ahead.
Okay, so, all right, audience. So, last week, Gideon...
Let me know when you're done.
All right. So, Gideon kicked some people's asses. The Midianites. Kicked the Midianites' asses. And he's back with the Canaanites, and that's where we pick up the story. Russ, come back in, man. Come back in.
All right. So let's just get this straight. God, or Yahweh, however you want to call him, right? He sets up the Midianites to rule over the Israelites, and then he has someone rise through the ranks of the Israelites to kill the Midianites. You understand the cruelty of Yahweh? Yahweh creates a situation where a group of people enslaves another people. That doesn't even enslave them, right? Just lords it over them. And then he gets one person to lead armies to kill those people.
It's like a fucking sick game for him, man.
It's like a sick game. Yeah, it's like Age of Empires or like any other like simulation role-playing game.
Look what I can do to this flesh and blood.
Yeah, God plays like turn-based role-playing games, RPGs, turn-based RPGs.
He's a
Turn-based RPGs. I'm going to say that fucking 20 more times. Oh my God, I'm a fucking idiot.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, all turn-based sponsored RPGs, or GP, or something, whatever that was. Just repeated 4 times. Right, man?
So when I listen back, at this point, that is my biggest criticism of myself when I listen back to episodes. I'll start talking, and then I want to emphasize a point, and I repeat it. Okay. But then I overemphasize. Like, I'll say the same thing in different ways 3 or 4 times, and by the time I'm done saying it, as a listener, I'm saying, can you fucking finish already? So I'm trying to be more concise with what I'm saying. Not so much concise with my speech, because I'm going to keep fucking talking.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to cut down on being repetitive.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Elias Podcast Network did a study on several of our episodes, and they found in an hour and a half podcast, if you stopped repeating yourself, it'd only be like 12 minutes long.
Oh, shit, man.
So, what do we like? We like fiber, like bulk fiber, like to bulk up your stool.
I don't know what you're saying.
If you have loose stools, you take some fiber for bulking.
Loose stools? Like, what do you mean? Like, if I'm walking around, they just plop out of my ass?
Well, not that loose.
What's a loose stool? It's like diarrhea, just like wet.
Well, you can't just say like, loose stool, man.
I don't know. I don't know what you consider loose stool.
Anything that's not a log, all right?
I don't have the language like.
All I'm saying,
a lot of my conversation doesn't revolve around stools.
Your repeating is just a stool bulking agent, okay? So people have more comfortable trips to the bathroom.
So you're saying it's just a bunch of shit coming out of my mouth.
Didn't we talk about bidets last time?
About what?
Bidets.
Bidets.
Cleaning asses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bidets.
So Gideon's triumph and vengeance. So now Gideon's chilling with the Ephraimites, and they say to him, "What have you done to us, not to call us when you went to fight against the Midianites?" And they upbraided him violently.
What's upbraided?
I don't know.
Upbraided him.
Is this the problem? While I continue to read, you look it up, all right?
They scolded him.
They scolded him violently.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? They smacked him around?
Nah, man. It's metaphorical. So just like, what are you, a fucking idiot? You don't understand what the fuck scolding someone fucking violently means? You fucking dumb fucking bald fuck. You piece of shit fucking bald.
You think they... Why do I gotta be bald, man? You think they get the violent part is they lift his hand up and like, why you wanna
stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
So he said to them, "What have I done now in comparison with you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abizer? God has given into your hands the captains of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. What have I been able to do in comparison with you?" When he said this, their anger against him subsided. Now, I understand. I don't know this all this English and this Old English and this British that it's written in. What the fuck did any of those words mean?
Then the Ephraimites said to him, "What have you done to us not to call us when you went to fight against the Midianites?"
Like, yo, why didn't you call us to the party?
So he said to them, "What have I done now in comparison with you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? God has given into your hands the captains of Midian, Oreb, and Zab. What have I been able to do in comparison with you? What I think he's saying is, look at all this shit that you got as a result of my conquests. Isn't their fucking wine better than the shit that you grow on your fucking piece of shit fucking vineyards?
Opposite. Your wine's better than the shit they're growing.
No.
Yeah. Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? He's talking to the Ephraimites.
Okay, right.
No, when you were reading it, it became more obvious than when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't I didn't have time to think about it.
You were focused on reading and getting the words right.
Not going words, some more words.
Then Gideon came to the Jordan and crossed over. He and the 300 who were with him, exhausted but still pursuing. So he said to the people of Succoth, please give some loaves of bread to my followers, for they are exhausted, and I am pursuing Zebah and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian. But the officials of Succoth said, do you already have in your possession the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna, that we should give bread to your army? First of all, no, because he just said he's pursuing them, you fucking assholes. And second of all, fuck you! What the fuck?
See, I'm wondering about this. So obviously it was a stupid question, but I'm wondering, do they get a lot of people that come through town with signs like "Feed me," "I'm homeless," "I'm hungry," and they just kind of this? Here we go again. The economy's not so good. We can't keep handing shit out.
It's a fair question. Plus, at this point, this guy that we're reading about, who are we fucking reading about? Gideon. He's probably not a legend yet. You know what I'm saying?
Fair
books
enough.
haven't been written about him yet, so they're like, who the fuck is this guy? He's only making his name now. Well then, when the Lord has given Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, I will trample your flesh on the thorns of the wilderness and on briers. That's the only reasonable response he can have to their question.
I gotta be honest, I'm not mad at that response.
Yeah, no.
No.
Can you imagine? He's in the middle of this war for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're popping shit to him we ain't giving you shit until you kill the person that you're chasing right now.
Or maybe they don't even realize the severity of the situation. Maybe they don't realize that Midianites are need to be fucked up, and Zebah and Zalmunna, they're who the fuck are those
Zebulon.
guys? Yeah. They could be unicorns and Pegasi for all I know.
Yeah. From there, he went up to Penuel and made the same request of them. And the people of Penuel answered him as the people of Succoth had answered. So he said to the people of Penuel, when I come back victorious, I will break down this tower. Now, wait a second. How come with them, he's only going to take down a tower, but with the other people, he will trample their flesh on the thorns of the wilderness and on briers, whatever the fuck that is. What's a brier?
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to respond to your question.
It's a tobacco pipe made from nodules borne at ground level by a large woody plant. All right, so he's going to impale them. Whereas the second group of people who had the same fucking response, he's only going to take down their tower.
Well, you know what? Maybe these Penuelians, maybe they're proud of their tower. That's their shining, their pinnacle.
So it's worth their lives.
Yeah, we're gonna let you live. I'm gonna watch you smash down. You're gonna watch me smash down your tower. I'm gonna take what's most important to you away from you.
So if I had a choice between being impaled and having my most prized possession destroyed, it's not a difficult choice.
Yeah.
Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor with their army. Those are the guys that he's pursuing. About 15,000 men, all of who were left off all the army of the... All right, I'm going to start reading again because I don't know who the fuck writes this fucking book, okay? But they needed an editor. Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor with their army, about 15,000 men, all who were left off all the army of the people of the east, for 120,000 men bearing arms had fallen. What the fuck did I just read?
It was a really long, drawn-out sentence. But you only messed up one word. You said all who were left off when it's left of all the army of the people.
All the army of the people of the east.
So they had
How many times are they going to say the word of in fucking...
It's a very run-on sentence. This would not pass muster in the third grade. So there was 135,000 men. 120 of them are dead. 120,000 of them are dead. These death counts in these battles are like surpass most modern wars.
It's a lot of people.
There's a lot of fucking people that die in this place.
So in the entire Civil War, like 600,000 people died. Right? So this is like a fifth of the amount of deaths in the Civil War.
Wow.
And by that time of the Civil War, the population was much greater. So I would think like there'd be a bigger pool of soldiers to draw from. 100,000 people, that's like 10% of the population.
Yeah, it's a
you
lot.
know what I mean?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So I'm wondering, is the reason the Earth has gotten so grossly overpopulated over the last 50 years?
We're not killing enough people?
Well, because we are in the longest, most peaceful period in human history, even with all of America's Iraq and Afghanistan wars and Syria and whatever else. It's been the biggest 100 peace since World War II, right?
I don't know.
So yeah, it's been pretty peaceful.
I know what you're saying. Yes.
So we're not killing enough people.
Statistically, I don't know at what period of time, but yes. It's the most prosperous and most peaceful time to be alive.
Woohoo!
For, in general, Scott.
Unless you're a 9-year-old.
Not everybody is living high on the hog.
Yeah, unless you're a 9-year-old in an American school.
Now, Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkar. Oh, okay. So Gideon went up by the caravan route east of Nabah and Jogbaha and attacked the army, for the army was off its guard. Zebah and Zalmunna fled, and he pursued them and took the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and threw all the army into a panic. First of all, how many more times are they going to say Zebah and Zalmunna? We understand. You started the sentence with Zebah and Zalmunna. You could have said them. You didn't have to say Zebah and Zalmunna again.
They love doing this stuff, man. Do you think the people are like Succoth and Penuel, when they got news of this, they're like, fuck. We're about to get ours.
Feet don't fail me now. When Gideon, son of Joash, returned from the battle by the ascent of Heres, he caught a young man. Again, we're introduced to all these names out of context. Again, like, this should be a different chapter. So, I don't know. Like, I feel there should be introductions to these people. And, you know what? Footnotes. You know how they have footnotes, but they don't mean shit? Like, most of the footnotes don't say anything.
They help not at all.
I have a great suggestion. In the footnote, so it says, when Gideon, son of Joash, right after Joash, there should be a footnote telling me, is this someone I should try and remember? Or is this going to be the only time that this person is mentioned? Should I know this person's name?
Nah, man. When you crawl into bed and you're laying on your belly and you got the book opened up and the cover's over your head and the flashlight over your shoulder and you're reading, you don't want to know how it ends.
I'm not even asking for how it ends. Just let me know. Like, is he going to be involved in more chapters?
And listen, what I hate, I wish there was an editing tool that I can edit out all the sons of whoever. Gideon, son of Joash. Like, I know that. You've said that several times.
I don't even know who Joash is.
No, I don't know either. And now I'm like, did he say son of Joash last time? Maybe this is a different Gideon, son of Bosh. Yeah. Maybe it's a different guy. I don't even know.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, though, before we continue. Is your window open right now?
It's not. I closed it.
Yeah. Can you open it?
I could.
Yeah. It's a little hot. Yeah, it's definitely hot. I mean, you're sucking up all the goddamn fucking air in here.
It's usually your job.
Yeah. When Gideon, son of Joash, returned from the battle by the ascent of Heres, he caught a young man, one of the people of Sukkoth, and questioned him. And he listed for him the officials and elders of Sukkoth, 77 people. Then he came to the people of Sukkoth and said, Here are Zebah and Zalmunna, about whom you taunted me, saying, Do you already have in your possession the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna, that we should give bread to your troops who are exhausted? So he took the elders of the city, and he took thorns of the wilderness and briers, and with them he trampled the people of Sukkoth. He also broke down the tower of Penuel and killed the men of the city.
All right, so Penuel did not get away with just the tower getting knocked down. So let me go back to the beginning when you said verse 13. When Gideon, son of Joash, returned from the battle by the ascent of Heres. Is Heres a city and the ascent is the hill
I'm
leading
going
up
to
to
say
the city?
yes.
All right. He caught a young man, one of the people of Succoth. Well, thank God it was one of those people from Succoth. Questioned him, and he gave him a list of 77 people, the officials. You grab me right now, I can't name 77 elected officials in my fucking neighborhood. How does this guy know all these guys? He's just like, well, then there's Bob over there. Don't forget Rachel. Wait, no, she's a woman. She's not in any kind of a position.
Man, don't you understand? It's because it's before all these fucking Democrats started their teaching. It's like the dumbing down of schools. Back then, people knew shit, man.
All right. So he took the elders of the city.
Even though everybody was illiterate.
And smelled good. And he took thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with them he trampled the people of Succoth. But then the footnote for trampled says taught. And with them he taught the people of Succoth. Does it mean like taught them a lesson?
Yeah, he taught them like to believe what he says.
You're going to get stomped. He also broke down the tower of Penuel and killed the men of the city. So now here, overreact much? When he went to Penuel to ask for bread, did all the men say, no, you get no fucking bread? Or did one dude be like, we're not giving you bread?
Okay, so when it says that he trampled the people of Succoth, I don't think he killed the people of Succoth. I think he killed their elders, the 77 elders,
all right.
the people who made those decisions.
Okay, fine.
So he killed city council.
All right, then when he broke down the tower
Also,
of Penuel,
was it a unanimous vote in city council? Maybe like there was like, I'd be hard pressed to find 77 politicians who vote the same way on something, right? True. I'm assuming like not all of them voted against him.
True, but it's like the old it's like you can't hate America because you hate Biden because we didn't all vote for Biden, but it doesn't matter. Like you don't see it as a foreigner, you don't see it that way.
Right.
This country stood against you,
right?
So it means the whole country.
But that does remind me, this podcast is brought to you by DeSantis 2024.
DeSantis, whoop whoop.
Yep. So as long as he keeps paying the bills, we're gonna keep promoting him.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like the lights went out, like there's a blackout all of a sudden, like just as you said.
We got swatted. Someone's called swatting us.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was just saying the bills weren't getting paid. That's what I'm saying. Then he said to Zebah and Zalmunna, what about the men whom you killed at Tabor? They answered, as you are, so were they, every one of them. They resembled the sons of a king. And he replied, they were my brothers, the sons of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you had saved them alive, I would not kill you. Okay, so then he said, what about the men whom you killed at Tabor? So, like, Gideon's asking them, like, what do you have to say for yourself, killing those men at Tabor? I'm assuming those are Gideon's men that got killed.
They're at war.
Yeah. Then they said, as you are, so were they. Every one of them, they resembled the sons of a king. So maybe...
No prisoners of war.
Right.
No one keeps prisoners of war back then. They kill all the men. All the men are killed always by all the Israelites,
okay.
and the women are taken.
And then he replied, meaning Gideon, they were my brothers, the sons of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you had saved them alive, I would not kill you. I'm calling bullshit on this.
Question. It's possible also. What about the men who you killed at Tabor, meaning not necessarily in the fight, not necessarily when Gideon becomes a judge, in that period of time when they're subjugated by Zebah and Zalmunna, you know what I mean?
Oh, so this didn't happen in the current battle.
Like
this
maybe they
in the
worked them to death or, slaved them to death.
Okay. So if you had saved them alive, which is a weird way of saying that, I would not kill you. So if maybe you treated them better, they were still alive.
It's retribution.
We wouldn't have come to this.
He's going to John Wick them.
But I'm going to say, I'm going to still call bullshit on this because you're dying. If Yahweh's involved and one of these judges is coming, you're going to die. No matter what you did in the past, they're coming for you.
Yeah, Judge Dredd.
So he said to Jether, his firstborn, go kill them. But the boy did not draw his sword, for he was afraid because he was still a boy. Then Zebah...
What does that mean, by the way? Like, I'm assuming still a boy means, like, around 10. Because 13, 14, like, motherfuckers be fighting already back then.
Yeah, all right, so he was pretty young. And you know what? I don't like this toxic masculinity here. He was afraid. He did not draw his sword for he was afraid because he was still a boy. Because you ain't a man until you start killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, you can't be a man and afraid.
Yeah, why can't I be 30 and like not wanting to do this? Then Zebah and Zalmunna said, "You come and kill us, for as the man is, so is his strength." Huh?
Well, that's like Ned Stark. In the very pilot episode of Game of Thrones, they found two guys who were escaping the wall. Do you remember this? The pilot episode? Because they were beyond the wall. They'd seen like
Why
the
was I
White
thinking
Walkers.
Iron Man when you said Ned
Doesn't
Stark?
matter. So Game of Thrones, they're beyond the wall. They see the White Walkers. They escape from the wall. Ned catches them, and he makes a show of the penalty for leaving the wall is you get like beheaded. And he himself beheads them because he's making a point. If you rule and you lay down the law, you have to be prepared to carry out the law. That's what they're telling him right now. That's what they're telling Gideon or whatever.
Yeah, you're so bad, do it yourself.
Yeah, you come and kill us, for as the man is, so is his strength.
So Gideon went and killed him, and he took the crescents that were on the necks of their camels.
They're like, we dare you to kill us. And he was like, all right, bet. Boom. He called their bluff.
And you know what sucks? Even if he got the first guy really lightning quick, he didn't have a chance to react. The second guy said, "Oh, fuck, why did we say that?"
Right, there was a moment when the first guy got killed where the second guy was like, oh, shit.
I'm wondering if the first guy said it, the second guy was kind of like, he's not speaking for both of us.
Wait. That gets us to Gideon's idolatry. Then the Israelites said to Gideon, "Rule over us, you and your son and your grandson also, for you have delivered us out of the hand of Midian." Gideon said to them, "I will not rule over you, and my son will not rule over you. The Lord will rule over you." Yeah, Yahweh must have gotten all like rock hard when he heard that. Then Gideon said to them, why does that need to be there? Gideon's already speaking. They don't need to include "then Gideon said to them" because he's already fucking talking.
That's true. Good point.
Right? So I could like not even read that.
Good point.
Then Gideon said to them, "Let me make a request of you. Each of you give me an earring he has taken as spoil." For the enemy had golden earrings because they were Ishmaelites. That's fucking racist.
I have to pause you, though.
Okay.
What if this is a trick? Each of you give me an earring that you've taken as spoil, and they all reached and like, aha! Just like the guy who took the mantle. You don't be taking earrings. Who the fuck said that was okay?
It's a trick. It's a trap. We will willingly give them. We will willingly give them, they answered. So they spread a garment, and each threw into it an earring he had taken as spoil. The weight of the golden earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, apart from the crescents and the pendants and the purple garments worn by the kings of Midian, and the collars that were on the necks of their camels. Gideon made an ephod of it and put it in his town, in Ophrah, and all Israel prostituted themselves to it there, and it became a snare to Gideon and to his family. So Midian was subdued before the Israelites, and they lifted up their heads no more. So the land had rest for 40 years in the days of Gideon.
All right. So they lay this cloth down, and they start throwing the earrings down. And then they say it weighs 1,700 shekels of gold, not counting the crescents and the pendants and the purple garments worn by the kings and the collars that were on the neck of their camels. So wait. So they laid this thing out, and he goes, "Everybody throw your earrings in." Who are these idiots throwing this other shit in there that wasn't to be weighed?
That's his spoils that he already has amassed for himself, aside from anyone giving him anything. Yeah, so that's what he took off of those people.
And aren't purple garments pretty valuable? From what I understand, wasn't purple a very hard pigment to have like back in the day? I think purple was like a really difficult pigment. He's a very important
person. It's probably a sign of respect that they're using a purple garment.
Yeah. So Israel prostituted themselves to it there? What does that mean, really?
So Gideon made an ephod of it. That's like a robe. It's like a priestly robe. Gideon made an ephod of it and put it in his town in Ophrah. And all Israel prostituted themselves to it there, and it became a snare to Gideon and to his family.
He made an idol. He made this into a golden robe, put it in the town square for everybody to see, and they prostituted. They idolized it. It was a snare.
It's a trap.
It's a fucking
A snare's
trap.
a trap.
Yeah.
So he basically set up a trap to catch anyone who's willing to fucking worship this particular thing.
Yeah, but it said it became a snare to Gideon and to his family.
And it became a snare to Gideon
weird.
and to his family.
So he melted this shit down, made a robe of it. It's like some sort of golden robe. This is weird. This is weird. So why was Midian? I'm confused. I don't understand why Gideon. Why there's peace now? It seems like they're breaking the rules.
So Gideon said, "I'm not going to rule over you. Yahweh rules over you."
Yeah.
So it shows you he's obviously very, very devoted to Yahweh.
I don't know. Understand
So
this became a snare to Gideon and his
The way
family.
I'm reading this is, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's very simple, the way I'm reading it. He wants to draw out anyone in his kingdom who isn't devoted to Yahweh and who would worship this particular thing. And he traps them by drawing them to him. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, it's worded really weird.
I would ask our audience, but they never respond to anything, so I'm not going to ask our audience. I wish someone in our audience would know what this means and would respond, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Listen, I understand Ron DeSantis is sponsoring, but is also very busy. He's like not going to make time. He's not coming on the podcast to explain this to us.
Right.
Because I'm sure he read
knows
this book
absolutely.
thoroughly.
Ron DeSantis would know.
Yes, Ron DeSantis.
And
would
his
know.
followers would know too.
Oh, absolutely.
So if any,
Sure.
so Ron DeSantis followers, you're welcome to like join us and leave comments.
That's why they didn't care that the Bible got banned in the libraries and the schools, because they all had their own copies already. They know about this. That brings us to the death of Gideon. Oh, here we go again. Jerubbaal, son of Josh. Okay, so that it's at least a half brother of Gideon. Then
Why
right?
would that guy be named after Baal? Jerubbaal?
Oh shoot!
That probably means like licks Baal's toes or something crazy.
Something
You know
like
what I
that.
mean?
Therefore, he was named.
Therefore, right. He was conceived under Baal.
Yeah. Jerubbaal, son of Josh, went to live in his own house. About fucking time.
All right, so that's Gideon's brother.
At least a half brother. Now Gideon had 70 sons, his own offspring, for he had many wives. His concubine, who was in Shechem, also bore him a son, and he named him Abimelech.
Abimelech.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
Abimelech sleeps tonight.
Bible, the musical. Then Gideon, son of Josh, died at a good old age and was buried in the tomb of his father Josh at Oprah of the Abizarites.
It's very weird because usually we'll get like, and Moses lived 120 years or this, whereas here it just says a good old age.
Because when the bard is sitting here telling the townsfolk this story, they're like, and then Gideon died, and probably someone goes, "How old was he?" And he was like, "He was a good old age." You know,
he
just
was
like,
good, old enough.
Yeah, old enough. Yeah,
Old enough.
Yeah. As soon as Gideon died, the Israelites relapsed and prostituted themselves with the Baals, making Baal-berith their god. The Israelites did not remember the Lord their God, who had rescued them from the hand of...
I'm sorry, is Baal-berith like George W. Bush? Baal was like George H.W. Bush, and then the son took over, Baal-berith.
Didn't we see evidence, like examples of this before? Like there was a Baal hyphen something before?
So Yahweh's just pissed that like
Baal's a group of gods.
the dumber like Baals are now getting like attention. Baal-berith is like Jeb Bush.
Yes, and if your 18 and 25-year-olds don't know anything about Bush, look it up. The Israelites did not remember the Lord their God, who had rescued them from the hand of all their enemies on every side, and they did not exhibit loyalty to the house of Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, in return for all the good that he had done to Israel. Time out.
Go ahead.
So, they did not exhibit loyalty to the house of Jerubbaal, parentheses, that is Gideon. So when I read Jerubbaal, son of Josh, went to live in his own house, Jerubbaal is Gideon? It's just another fucking name for him?
Yes.
So Jerubbaal's not his brother. Jerubbaal is him.
Let's say yes. Let's say no. Let's say who knows who wrote that sentence and who knows who wrote the next sentence.
Yeah. All right. So in summary,
It's funny that people kill other people over this book. You know what I'm saying? And it's not hard to see why people get killed over the book. Can you imagine the arguments that occurred over like two guys in a bar drinking ale, like fucking arguing over what each passage means? And they're like really like pious. They really believe, and one guy's conviction, outweighs another guy's. And it's not hard to see why there's crusades and 100-year wars and all this nonsense.
I used to say without any evidence that people kill over this book.
Without any evidence.
Without any knowledge of what.
There's.
I'm sorry. Without any knowledge.
There's evidence of the crusades.
Without any evidence of without any knowledge what was between the two covers.
Without knowing the details.
I was like, maybe it is reasonable that people would kill over what's written in this book. And now as I read it, I was thinking, wait a minute, there's absolutely no reason to kill over what's in this book.
It's like two guys arguing over who has the most goals in like the NHL.
Right. But then you brought this third back to, you can get killed over this because there's no drinking water that's any good. So you're all fucking wasted all the time. And this just escalates.
And this is the one book.
Right?
It literally means the book. The Bible means the book. This is the only book that people have. So they're reading it over and over.
And they wanted, there was multiple books, and they joined them together to make this book.
Right.
So, there was multiple books at one time.
I mean, books is loosely defined as, you know what I mean?
I don't know. What else you got to say about this
Like,
chapter?
books usually have plots, and like, Deuteronomy wasn't so much a book. Deuteronomy.
Dudes.
That gets us to Judges 9.
Judges 9.
Abimelech attempts to establish a monarchy. Now, Abimelech, son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's kinfolk, and said to them, and to the whole clan of his mother's family, "Say in the hearing of all the lords of Shechem, which is better for you, that all 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal rule over you, or that one rule over you? Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh." So his mother's kinfolk spoke all these words on his behalf in the hearing of all the lords of Shechem, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, "He is our brother." They gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the temple of Baal-berith, with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless fellows who followed him. He went to his father's house at Ophrah and killed his brothers and the sons of Jerubbaal, 70 men, on one stone. But Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, survived, for he hid himself. Then all the lords of Shechem and all Beth Millo came together, and they went and they made Abimelech king by the oak of the pillar at Shechem.
Holy shit. This is insane.
I disagree.
Abimelech, son of Jerubbaal. Jerubbaal's Gideon. Isn't this insane?
I mean, listen, the guy is motivated. He wants to be king.
No, dude. First, again, I'm just going to bring this
Much
up
like
again.
Ron DeSantis wants to be president in 2024.
Sure. Why are they referring to Gideon as Jerubbaal? Why did this happen?
Alcohol. I'm blaming alcohol.
But it's not even close. I don't know. All right, so Abimelech, when you were reading this, I was like,
this isn't the first time a name's been changed. Maybe,
but usually there's an announcement, isn't there?
Maybe. I got it. Okay. When monarchs ascend to the monarchy, a lot of times they'll change their name. So, like, someone was born John, and then when they ascend to, like, the monarchy, they'll change their name to King Henry V, or, you know what I'm saying? They weren't born Henry. They changed their name. Like the Pope.
I was gonna say,
the Pope changes his name too, right? So it's possible that Gideon, once he became like ruler, changed his name.
Okay, fair enough. Because when the Pope speaks, they change it. All right. So there's a long history just lying about who the fuck you are once you're in power.
Right. It's funny that that's what you're hung up on, and not the fact that this guy just ordered.
I was being funny.
Ordered like 85 or whatever that is. What's the order number? 66.
66, and this is episode 66.
Oh shit! Yeah. So he orders 66. His whole fucking like family.
I was being funny when I was like, "Oh my god, can you believe this?" Of course, you thought that's what I was talking about. Then I was like, Jerubbaal is Gideon. That's my it was a more subtle layer of my humor.
It would have been good like if it was like if you followed it up immediately with that and not like oh my god and then like an hour later.
Yeah, you probably cut me off to derail my train of thought.
I mean, in all likelihood.
Yeah. So this dude just killed all his brothers. Is this
except one that was hiding?
Only because he was hiding, not because he was showing him any kind of mercy.
Well, they need to set up like a battle. You know what I mean? Like one always like gets away, and then like they come back for vengeance. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen.
So is this the single most heinous act so far in the Bible?
No.
Like by a human?
No.
All right. Killed 70 of his brothers.
Do you remember those guys that like entered the town after their sister was raped by that one dude?
Yeah, with the
and then they forced them to like circumcise themselves, but then they like killed them all after their circumcisions while they were recovering. That was bad.
But this is blood right here, man. This is your own blood you're blooding.
I mean, it's bad.
It's pretty fucking bad.
It's not good.
It's going on the
we had
the
those daughters that like raped their dad. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, but
right?
But what was he wearing, man?
I mean, listen.
Did we even ask that question when it happened? What was he wearing?
I hear you.
He's probably naked. Wasn't that the dude that fucking...
Believe women. Believe women.
Yeah, and what I don't like is like they talk about lords. I don't think they should call people lords.
Well, it's lowercase. That's the problem.
I know.
We're reading it.
No, I know. I get it.
Maybe we have to denote that it's lowercase L.
We shouldn't even like talk about that, man. We shouldn't even use the word.
Yeah.
You don't use the L word.
You want to get to the parable of the trees?
Yes, the parable of the trees. When it was told to Jotham, hold on, I gotta rewind. Who's Jotham now? Jotham's the guy that survived. Yeah, Jotham. Jotham's the guy who hid himself and survived. All right. When it was told to Jotham, he went and stood on the top of Mount Gerizim and cried aloud and said to them, "Listen to me, you lords of Shechem, so that God may listen to you." Okay, now this is written like a song or a poem.
It's like like a poem. It's a parable.
All right, can I just read it?
Yeah, read it.
So this is Jotham screaming down at the lords of Shechem. The trees once went out to anoint a king over themselves. So they said to the olive tree, "Reign over us." The olive tree answered them, "Shall I stop producing my rich oil, by which gods and mortals are honored, and go to sway over the trees?" Then the tree said to the fig tree, "You come and reign over us." But...
I'm already lost, man. Go ahead. I'm already like, what the fuck?
But the fig tree answered them, "Shall I stop producing my sweetness and my delicious fruit and go sway over the other trees?" Basically, they're asking trees to rule over them, but these trees already have jobs. Then the tree said to the vine, "You come and reign over us." But the vine said to them, "Shall I stop producing my wine that cheers gods and mortals and go to sway over the trees?" So all the trees said to the bramble, "You come and reign over us." And the bramble said to the trees, "If in good faith you are anointing me king over you, then come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon." Okay, so basically he's telling a parable. The trees went to all the other trees, said, "Rule over us, rule over us." They said, "No, no, no, no." Finally we get to the bramble. And the bramble says, "If you truly want it, I will rule over you. If not, I'm going to burn yous up." I think that, am I interpreting that well enough? First reading?
I got to tell you, I don't know, and I really don't care. And I think the more important question is, this is a very serious situation that's occurred, okay? This guy has stepped up, and he's been like, "I want to be your fucking ruler now." He kills his own family, okay? The lone surviving member of this family, of Gideon, the son of Gideon, a young son, he gets on top of a mountain to talk to these people who are about to decide who will lead us, okay? I'm assuming he doesn't want his murdering brother to lead, right?
I would think not.
I would think a speech that is not filled with metaphor would be more effective, something a little more direct and to the point. Oh, in other words, when Gideon told the people he was going to shove poles up their assholes and kill them when he comes back, that's pretty much what he said to them. He didn't give them some kind of bullshit like parable about trees and olives.
This is the BC version of the hand motions. You tell a parable instead of putting your arms up and down, your hands in and out, left and right, up and down, in and out.
I don't understand. You know how many words the Gettysburg Address was? It was like 50 words.
No, it was like 4 score.
It was like
words.
really like a short,
like,
concise
no, it was
little
420 words. Now, therefore, if you acted in good faith and honor when you made Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done to him as his actions deserved, for my father fought for you and risked his life and rescued from the hand of Midian. But you have risen up against my father's house this day and have killed his sons, 70 men on one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his slave woman, king over the lords of Shechem, because he is your kinsman. I got to take a breath because that's all one sentence so far.
Yeah.
And it goes on. The sentence hasn't ended.
So basically, here's what happened. Gideon banged a woman from Shechem, right?
Concubine.
His concubine.
Yeah.
She bore him this piece of shit fucking son, right? And now they're going to make him king. And the kid's reminding them, you made a commitment to Gideon.
Yeah.
And you're throwing away this whole fucking commitment.
And you see what he's sneaking in there? He's like, the other 70 sons were true Scotsmen. Whereas this motherfucker came from the slave woman.
Right.
He's like completely talking shit about his whole
He's a
lineage.
half-breed.
Yeah.
He's telling the people who are the half part of the, you know what I mean? Like,
if I say you have acted in good faith and honor with Jerubbaal and with this house this day, then rejoice in Abimelech and let him also rejoice in you. So he's like, all right, listen, if you're comfortable with the decision and you're being honest and you're being truthful, then by all means go with this. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the lords of Shechem and Beth Millo. And let fire come out from the lords of Shechem and from Beth Millo and devour Abimelech. Then Jotham ran away and fled, going to Beer, where he remained for fear of his brother Abimelech. So he's basically saying, if not, fire will come out of Abimelech, it'll burn you all up, and then fire will come out of you and burn Abimelech
he's
up.
basically writing the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then he wisely took off. he talked on his shit just now
and then
ran to Beer, Beer. So, what do you think they're gonna do, man?
Let's continue reading.
Oh, you want
the next section is titled "The Downfall of Abimelech."
So you know, man.
It says right there, man. It says.
Listen, I'm glad you didn't take advantage of me and put a wager on it because
Yeah.
you already knew the answer.
Yeah.
Right? I'm glad you did that, man. You are an honorable, trustworthy type of
Thank
person.
you. I appreciate that.
All right.
I appreciate that. So, the downfall of Abimelech. Excuse me.
You're belching, man.
It's weird because I don't belch. It's because of the talking, right? It's because I'm taking in like
you said
sucking
it was
in
the
air.
gummies last time. And I was like, I don't think it's the gummy. It's got to be because of the sucking in the air. Yeah.
Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years.
Queefing of the mouth.
Maybe you should make a tighter seal with your cock.
Ew.
Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years. But God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the lords of Shechem, and the lords of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. This happened so that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might be avenged, and their blood be laid on their brother Abimelech, who killed them, and on the lords of Shechem, who strengthened his hands to kill his brothers. So the lord of Shechem set ambushes against him on the mountaintops. They robbed all who passed by them along that way, and it was reported to Abimelech.
Huh. So I was thinking, rewinding to the fact that he killed all 70 on one stone. Like, how did he convince them? Like, well, hey, come here. Don't worry about that blood. and this ever-mounting pile of bodies. But then he said he basically hired henchmen, so he probably grabbed them up, and they didn't have a choice. I'm sure it wasn't all at once.
Yeah, he kept them, like, penned up, and then, like, took them out one at a time. How does he kill them? Beheads them? Like, what does that mean on the stone? Like, he, like, beheads them, right?
I don't know. Maybe firing squad? Which some states bringing back. Like, some states are, like, voting to bring firing squads back.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's cheaper and less barbaric than lethal injection.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe everything's... I believe firing squads are more humane than every other form that we currently have. Electric chair, lethal injection, right?
Yeah.
I think you can ask to be hanged in, like, Washington.
Yeah.
Not D.C., Washington State.
Let's digress for a second. Like, if you had to, like, if you were sentenced to death.
We have digressed.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a digression.
Let's keep digressing. Like, keep up this digression. How would you choose to die, man?
If what?
If you were sentenced to death for like the horrible crimes you finally got caught doing. And we don't have to answer it. Just give it some thought, like a homework assignment. It's hard. Come back next week with an answer.
Lethal injection.
Come back and let me know how you want to die, motherfucker.
Lethal injection, you die from paralysis.
Is that how it does? It stops your lungs from moving?
It stops everything. So what winds up happening is, they inject the poison into your body, which paralyzes you. So now you're fully conscious and aware of the fact that you are unable to breathe any longer until you die, until you basically suffocate while paralyzed.
I thought the third drug they injected stopped your heart. But we don't need to go into details, man. I think the whole part of it is like the terrifying wait for it. The worst part about it is they use the alcohol swab on your elbow, like in your elbow, so you don't get an infection. Yeah. All right. So they're ambushing Abimelech's people. Yeah.
When Gal, son of Ebed, moved into Shechem with his kinsfolk. I'm sorry. Repeat that. They're ambushing Abimelech's, not Abimelech's. They're ambushing what's his name's people.
Abimelech's people, yeah, because they want the word to... It sounds like they're setting something up. They're setting up a trap, I think.
When Gal, son of Ebed, moved into Shechem with his kinfolk, the lords of Shechem put confidence in him. They went out into the field and gathered the grapes from their vineyards, trod them, and celebrated. Then they went into the temple of their god, ate and drank, and ridiculed Abimelech. Gal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is Abimelech, and who are we of Shechem that we should serve him? Did not the son of Jerubbaal and Zebul, his officer, serve the men of Hamor, father of Shechem? Why then should we serve him? If only this people were under my command, then I would remove Abimelech. I would say to him, increase your army and come out."
Oh, so Abimelech's got a second challenger?
It looks like this guy's trying to step up now.
Or is this the other brother pretending to be this Gal, son of Ebed?
Or is this
facial recognition software out there yet?
Or is this Moses' father-in-law with yet a new name, a fourth name?
Yeah.
When Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gal, son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. Wait, I thought the other guy was the ruler. I thought Abimelech was the
Maybe
ruler.
Abimelech's like the head honcho, and he's just like the city owner. Like Abimelech runs all of Israel. This guy's just the city ruler.
Okay.
This is like one of the nothing but the best people. We drain the swamp. This is one of Abimelech's best people.
Oh, so this is like Scaramucci.
Yeah.
He sent messengers to Abimelech at Arumah, saying, "Look, Gal, son of Ebed, and his kinfolk. Look, Gal. Oh, look, Gal. It's not. It's a clunky transition." All right. He sent messengers to Abimelech at Arumah, saying, "Gal, son of Ebed, and his kinfolk have come to Shechem, and they are stirring up the city against you. Now, therefore, go by night, you and the troops who are with you, and lie in wait in the fields. Then, early in the morning, as soon as the sun rises, get up and rush on the city. And when he and the troops who are with him come out against you, you may deal with them as best you can." I'm sorry. Okay. It's very nice of this guy to go and fucking betray everyone and fucking spy for fucking Abimelech, right?
Well, he's Abimelech's boy.
Okay. What's with the fucking, what is he, a general? Like, what does he know about fucking military law?
Yo, man, I'm here to tell you, they're talking shit about you, and here's what you're going to do about it.
Yeah, like Abimelech should have been like, "Thanks for the info. Get the fuck out of here. We'll handle it from here."
Then Abimelech's probably like, the only reason Zebul got elected is because I campaigned for him. Now he's de-sanctimoniously, like not paying attention to me, and I made him who he is.
Rob de-sanctimonious.
Meatball Ron. Oh, we can't talk shit about DeSantis, dude. Seriously.
We're not. Trump is.
Right. We're not. We're pointing out.
We're pointing out how stupid Trump is.
Yeah, we're pointing out DeSantis' enemies. And then we should tell him what he should do about it, like this guy did.
Right. That rant was brought to you by DeSantis for President 2024.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. You want to continue? Verse 34?
Sure. So Abimelech and all the troops with him got up by night and lay in wait against Shechem in 4 companies. When Gaal, son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city, Abimelech and the troops with him rose from the ambush. And when Gaal saw them, he said to Zebul, "Look, people are coming down from the mountaintops." And Zebul said to him, "The shadows on the mountains look like people to you." Gaal spoke again and said, "Look, people are coming down from Tabor Erez, and one company is coming from the direction of Elan Meonim." Then Zebul said to him, "Where is your boast now? You who said, 'Who is Abimelech? What would you that we should serve him? Are not the troops you made light of? These not the troops you made light of?
Are not these the troops you made light of?
Go out now and fight with them." So Gaal went out at the head of the lords of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. Many fell wounded, up to the entrance of the gate. So Abimelech resided at Arumah, and Zebul drove out Gaal and his kinfolk, so they could not live on at Shechem. Man, I just stumbled a lot over like through half of that.
Well, next time, read it faster, and I guarantee you won't stumble through it.
Yo, when you look at words like on the computer screen, is it like crystal clear to you? Because like I have trouble focusing on words.
It's clear. Well, you said your glasses are new, and you paid for that extra Super Duty coating.
Yeah, maybe. No, I always have this problem, especially when I get tired. I can't find. I spend too much time in front of computer screens. That's why. All right, I don't know how to read, all right? Well, you got to embarrass me on this podcast.
So the bottom line is, this fucking idiot, he sees people coming from all directions. He's like, oh, look, it's just like travelers from fucking New York. And, oh, look, there's more people coming up from Philadelphia. And look, there's people coming from Scranton.
No, I think at first the guy was like, those aren't people, dude. Those are just shadows, man. You're imagining things, like delaying his reaction.
Well, he's like trying to set him up. Yeah,
he's fucking with him, man. Well played. Well played. On the following day, the people went out into the fields. When Abimelech was told, he took his troops and divided them into 3 companies and lay in wait in the fields. When he looked and saw the people coming out of the city, he rose against them and killed them. Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood at the entrance of the gate of the city, while the 2 companies rushed on all who were in the fields and killed them. Abimelech fought against the city all that day. He took the city and killed the people who were in it, and he razed the city and sowed it with salt.
So,
I'm sorry, I tried to constantly slow down towards the end, man.
I have a question, Scott.
Yeah.
On the one hand, Abimelech is exactly the kind of Israelite that you're always complaining about. Just killing everyone, murdering everyone, right? But on the other hand, he is killing Israelites. So, hero or villain?
Oh, crap. I'm going to take the fifth on that one. I don't think I can answer that safely.
Hero or madman, Scott? Hero or madman?
Listen, one man's hero is another man's terrorist. Right? When all the lords of the Tower of Shechem heard of it, they entered the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith. That was the Baal temple, right?
Yes.
Abimelech was told that all the lords of the Tower of Shechem were gathered together. So
what does that mean? They're like all huddled up together?
Yeah.
They're in the war room.
Yeah, when they're hiding out, they didn't expect Abimelech to
find out. They're in the bunker, yeah.
So Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the troops who were with him. Abimelech took an axe in his hand, cut down a bundle of brushwood, and took it up and laid it on his shoulder, like Schwarzenegger in Commando when he had the log on his shoulder. Very famous scene. Then he said to the troops with him, "What you have seen me do, do quickly as I have done." So every one of the troops cut down a bundle and, following Abimelech, put it against the stronghold. And they set the stronghold on fire over them, so that all the people of the Tower of Shechem also died, about 1,000 men and women. That's a big fucking tower. So it's like a keep, right? It's like a fortified keep, maybe. So they basically took all this brush, surrounded it, and they lit it on fire, like a pyre, like a funeral pyre type thing. Yeah. That's gotta
Come
suck.
on, baby, light my fire.
That's gotta suck. So you gotta think some people must have gotten out. Like, do you think they axed them as they came out running on fire? This is the result that what do you call it? Lisa and Full Force wanted in House Party when they were gonna light the house on fire.
Right.
This is what they were going for.
Right. You think his men were just like looking to kick some ass?
Why are you trying to burn these people up? All right. Then Abimelech went to Thebez and encamped against Thebez and took it. But there was a strong tower within the city, and all the men and women and all the lords of the city fled to it and shut themselves in, and they went to the roof of the tower.
All of them.
All of them.
The roof held all these people.
Yeah.
How big was this tower?
And I guess they didn't see what happened to the tower next door. Like, this is a bad idea. Wait.
What they should have been on the roof of the tower before, so they could see what the fuck was going on next town, so they could get the fuck out of their town.
Do you think they got to the top of their tower and looked over and goes, wasn't there a tower right there in the next town? Where'd that tower go? Abimelech came to the tower.
They're like, yo, remember when we were envious of the tower next door? Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
My tower is now the tallest building in Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan.
Right.
Now that the Twin Towers are missing.
He said that.
I know, I have the article.
He said that.
Yeah. I actually have the article because it was on the back of something. I saved the 9/11 article, and I have that article.
That's why we are taking money from Ron DeSantis for president 2024.
Yeah, we need a real contender.
2024.
Real man.
Meatball Ron. Ron DeSanctimonious. I mean, Ron.
Trump said Ron.
Yes, Ron. Right.
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Don't blow this, man.
Yes,
Don't blow this for
I'm
us.
trying, man. I'm trying.
Abimelech came to the tower and fought against it, and came near to the entrance of the tower to burn it with fire. But a certain woman threw an upper millstone on Abimelech's head and crushed his skull.
What? That's a Deus Ex Machina. If I've ever heard
Where did
one.
this come from? Immediately, he called to the young man who carried his armor and said to him, "Draw your sword and kill me, so people will not say about me, a woman killed him."
Stop.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted to stop after the last
All right.
sentence, but yeah.
This is perhaps my favorite. This is my favorite part of the Bible so far. So, this fucking monster who killed his own brothers, 70 of his own brothers to be exact, has killed, I don't know, countless thousands of his own people, has now had, like, basically a milling stone dropped onto his head. He's dying, and his concern is that he was defeated by a woman. First of all, how would he even know who threw it? If he knew who threw it, he could have fucking avoided it, right?
No, he knew. He knew because he saw the woman and he thought nothing of her. He totally dismissed
It's just a
her.
woman.
Just a fucking
Just
woman. What's
a
gonna happen?
woman.
Bang!
Just a woman.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark. He was so confident. He said he called to the young man who carried his armor. He wasn't even wearing his armor at this point. He was like, I am so badass. We have this so well in hand. I don't even need to wear my armor.
And his armor was probably like, at least put on the headpiece. And he's like, I don't need the headpiece.
Yeah. Wearing a mask. That'll stop a virus.
Wow. Draw your sword and kill me so people will not say about me, a woman killed him.
So the young man thrust him through and he died. He didn't even pull
I like that there wasn't like any protest at all, you know?
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech was dead, they all went home. Thus God repaid Abimelech for the crime he committed against his father in killing his 70 brothers. Hold on. So God thought the crime in killing the 70 brothers wasn't that he killed 70 brothers, but that they were his father's sons?
I just like that God waited for him to like decimate like entire cities and towns of innocent women, children, like elderly people.
Dude. So this woman kills Abimelech, and they're so twisted, they gotta say, God did it.
Yeah.
They get
Well,
like,
in fairness,
Well,
it's not because a woman killed him. They're trying to cover up for that. They're always giving God credit for the good things that occurred, and they're blaming themselves for all the bad things that occur.
all right. And God also made all the wickedness of the people of Shechem fall back on their heads, and on them came the curse of Jotham, son of why can't I pronounce this after the 15th time? Jerubbaal. And God also made all
It's
the
because
wickedness...
there's two B's and two A's together.
Yeah, it's just weird.
That makes it weird.
There should be a hyphen in there between the two B's. All right, so what does that mean? The tower fell? Shechem fell? Like Abimelech died, but the tower still fell?
God repaid Abimelech for the crime he committed against his father in killing his 70 brothers. And God also made all the wickedness of the people of Shechem fall back on their heads, and on them came the curse of Jotham, son of Jerubbaal. So Jotham, the one kid that survived, he wound up ruling over them.
Okay,
and he ruled over them viciously. He fucking stepped on their necks during his entire rule.
So I gotta tell you, and maybe it's our ingrained misogyny. I think the two moments of the Bible so far have been this one. This woman hit him with the millstone, and when that woman pegged that guy through the head and nailed him to the floor.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, the guy went in to hide me. She's like, yeah, I'll hide you, and bam!
That was good. But this was completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This was definitely a Ghost in the Machine moment.
So I'm going to say this. I don't think they should have two Abimelechs in the Bible.
No.
I think it should be
because it's confusing.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna reference Abimelech, we don't know which
Abimelech?
one. Right, which one?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, the Abramic Abimelech,
as opposed to the Gideon Abimelech,
as opposed to the Judges era.
All right. Yeah. I don't know about you, but these chapters were not bad. I don't think I have another chapter in me tonight though.
They were packed. Yeah. No, we're good. We're an hour 30 in.
Oh shit! Yeah, let's end this shit, man.
I mean,
for free. This is for free.
Honestly, we've given these fucking mongrels an hour and 30 too many minutes.
Yeah, all right.
We're over our time limit by an hour and 30 for what they deserve. And I would just say that if they want to make it up to us, they should go out and vote Ron DeSantis 2024.
Whoop, whoop.
We're gonna keep continuing to support Ron DeSantis until our Patreon grows. That's patreon.com/libel the Bible. I mean, really, if you don't like Ron DeSantis support, that's tough noogies.
Tough noogies.
We're gonna continue to take his money. And we don't care what any of the evangelicals say about that.
No, what are you going to say about it?
Yeah, no.
What are you going to say about it?
No, we don't care. We don't care if this makes CNN. We don't care what kind of controversy this causes.
We don't care if I got to get a Citizen app notification that protest activity at the Brooklyn Bridge over this and I can't get into Manhattan. Yeah. I don't care.
If all of a sudden, we get 1 million Twitter followers all screaming at us, creating controversy, putting our name in the news cycle, we don't care.
Yeah,
we will take anyone's money. We'll take anyone's money.
Yo, man, you're getting off the rails again, man. Let's end this.
All right. Except Mexico. We don't want Mexican money. We want real money. We want dollars. Wow. And on that note, we'll see you next time.
Not me.